We want to scale our brand. And I think for those institutions that haven't heard of us, when they do see what we have to offer, they're surprised and they're shocked that they hadn't heard about us prior. And I think for us, it's about growing our brand. We are owned by private equity, so at some point in the future, we'll probably partner, merge, sell to another strategic or financial buyer. But the reality is today, what we're focused on is the challenge is always how can we be better? I don't look at like competitors and how can we leapfrog them. I feel like we're in a good spot, but I'm not confident on that. We have to always be innovative. If I could look back and say why I was successful, besides doing the homework and really building those relationships, is when you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it and follow up on it, right? Like, you know, you promise, but you over deliver, because they knew that if and when I buy your solution, I know I can contact you if I'm having a problem, and you may not be able to solve the problem, but you'll get somebody that can. We're not too far off from really wanting to expand in Latin America and LAC. That's really a big driver for us, probably starting in about 6 months. We do have customers, but we want to expand rapidly. So that's a big part of it. US is 80% of our market just because of the size and the sheer volume. UK is also a big market. We're starting to see a lot more in Singapore and South Africa and Australia. A lot of institutions that use us, it might be 1 or 2 in a country. That's why we're in 28 countries, but again, the bulk is in the US. So we have to figure out how to scale our brand on a limited budget and only 150 employees. I know that we were successful when I was at Campus Management, which was later redesignated Anthology. We were very successful. When I joined, I think we had 4 million users around the globe, really US and Brazil. When I left, we went from 4 million to 155 million between the growth and the acquisitions. I know it's staggering. We were in a total of 12 countries and we went to 88. We had 1,100 clients, we went to 9,000. It's a lot. But what I really focused on was finding the right sales leaders under me. Because when I was a CRO at Anthology, I had 400 people under me and I had a team of a dozen direct leaders. I had to get the right people on the bus. And the biggest thing I looked for was really cultural fit. COVID was actually good for them from an educational attainment standpoint. Women at the time were not able to go, in many cases, into classroom settings where males were. When COVID hit and everyone had to go online, that sparked a revolution basically amongst women in Saudi Arabia who were now able to attend online courses. And of course, having merged with Blackboard, we had the LMS. They were leveraging our technology and our solutions. Women in Saudi Arabia took online courses by an increase of 2,300% from 2020 to the end of 2021. Incredible feat. So when half your population, women, are undereducated because they didn't have the opportunities and now they do, that is transforming the way the kingdom is looking at education and how they're rebuilding beyond just oil. We have 3 OKRs within the organization, and it's objective key results, and then KPIs, key performance indicators below that, on how going into the year, what we want to measure and how we want to be successful in that measurement. So we're always looking at how are we doing and performing against the goals that we set for ourselves. That's really the most important thing. And sometimes you have to adjust those goals along the way. But ultimately, it's really about if you want to be successful in any role and in an organization, you have to listen to the customer. The customer is the lifeblood of the organization, along with the people that you're privileged to lead. And if you want the customers to continue to buy from you and to have the confidence to renew with you on the solution, then you have to listen to see what they want. I never really liked that title, Chief Revenue. And I know we all use it. In fact, that's what I'm hiring for, because there's still a lot of instances where you meet with somebody on a campus and they say, now, what does revenue really mean? Like, what does that do? Like, people understand sales, but revenue. And, obviously revenue is fueling an organizational scalability and growth. And it means everything that the company is able to bring in that keeps it sustainable. So revenue comes in all forms. It's not just sales. Client success, for example, holding on to clients, treating clients like they want to be treated and supporting them so that they continue to renew and stay with you and tell other people as a referenceable institution. But when I look at revenue at the end of the day, it's very different from the chief financial officer who is tasked with the financial acumen within the organization. The chief revenue officer has to look for ways to grow the business, period.